Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. I am honored to have in the studio back once again Steve Lindauer with the Southern Indiana Leatherneck Detachment.
Very good.
It's been so long that I almost forgot what SILD stood for.
It's kind of been a while, yeah. SILD is...
We're going to talk about things that you have coming up this fall, but
Yeah.
go on and please tell us what you are.
Well, the Southern Indiana Leatherneck Detachment is made up of Marines, almost predominantly of Marines and associate members that were in the Marine Corps. Now, the associate members, they can be civilians, they can be other branches of service, of which we've got several members that are from the Air Force, from the Army, from the Navy, that are in the Marine Corps League with us. And some of those are associate members and some not. So we've got some that are what's the term? They've been in both branches, been in the Marine Corps and the Army, things like that. And so they go to different branches. But also within the Marine Corps League, we will have, we don't have medics like the Army does, so we've got Navy corpsmen. So if you are a Marine, a Navy corpsman, or a chaplain, Navy chaplain, you can be in the Marine Corps League.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about some events that you have coming up this fall.
Okay. All right.
Which are fundraisers for the good work that you do.
That's right, and we'll talk about what that's about, what the fundraisers are for. But our most, I guess, the one coming up later this fall, October 12th, is Saturday, October 12th. We got a shotgun start for Marine Corps League Golf Scramble. This is a fundraising event, one of the big ones for us to support us, and some things I'm going to tell you about in here just a little bit. It is $45 in person. That does include hamburgers and hot dogs and chips and things like that, drinks while you're there at the event. That lunch will be starting at 12 o'clock. Shotgun start at 1 o'clock, or for military people, that's 1300. It's going to be located at the, used to be called the Jasper Community Course. It's now the Buffalo Trace. I think they just call it Buffalo Trace. I'm not a golfer, so please excuse me. And so we're looking for not only players and teams, but we're looking for sponsors. So we got gold, silver, and bronze sponsors. If you want to be a gold sponsor, it's $200. A silver is if you donate $100 to $199, and for a bronze sponsor is $50 up to $199. So you can be in those events. And what that gets you is we'll make up a sign. We'll have a sign. It's a nice, professionally done sign, and you will sponsor a hole. So you get your advertising on there, and that's how you're recognized for being a sponsor. And so the fundraiser, the proceeds for this fundraiser goes to the activities that the Marine Corps League does. So probably one of the most notable things we do is the TFT. That's Toys for Tots. Toys for Tots, it's its own entity. We supply toys for, I think it's 5 surrounding counties, including Du Bois County. We've been doing that for going on 20 years now. Pat Moriarty can tell you more about that. For those of you who know the Marine Corps League, Pat is one of the founding members, and he's all Mr. TFT. But every child gets 2 toys, and I think the last few years, it's been like 3,000 kids, 6,000 toys. And so we get toys not only from people locally, but Marine Corps League nationally also does some. Walmart and some of the other stores around, they'll match our funds. So if we come up with $1,000, they'll donate 1,000. So there's people like that. So we're always looking for some of you other retail people out there that are willing to do things like that for us. We, jump on the bandwagon. And it's a 50C3, I think. So it's a nonprofit, or so you can put it on your taxes and all that sort of thing. But
we'll have to make sure we have you guys come back in again as we get closer to that, because it starts around Thanksgiving. Is that right?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Okay,
yeah.
So we'll have you back to talk about that specifically, because that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's
but
huge.
You need money for that, and this helps put a little money toward that.
It's a huge event. It costs a lot of money. It takes a lot of volunteers. By the way, we're always looking for members, for volunteers, even if all you can do is during that event for Christmas. You want to be one of those people that go out and pick up the toys in the boxes that we have out there, or go to maybe some of the bigger manufacturers around and try to solicit some donations from them to help us with that. We're looking for anybody, whatever your skill level is. If you can only do one thing for us in the entire year, God bless you. We'll be glad to take it. So we've got a lot of members like that. We've got 100 and some, I think, active 100 and some members, probably a dozen or so are most active. So if we can get people to just once a year do one event somewhere and help us out, that's good. So So we do a lot of things. We do the TFT is one thing. I talked a lot about that. We take part in the parades, which we talked about a while ago, and that's not just around Jasper, but it's around Southern
Everywhere.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Do a lot of those. I've done some flag etiquette classes to some of the schools and Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Venture Crew. We've done some that had a lot of fun with some of that stuff. So we do flag etiquette classes. There's we're pretty good around here. Most of the schools at least give some indication of what flag etiquette is and patriotism and all that. That's what's cool about this area in Southern Indiana. One of the other things we've done, had the honor of doing, we buried 2 young Marines in years past. Alec Twisky, I think, I forget what year that was, and then Eric Leakin prior to that. And so all those things that we take part in, that all, it still costs money, but that's not what we do that for. That is we've considered an honor to take part in some of those things. But so we're up to Crane. They had dedicated a couple of buildings to both those young Marines here in the last couple of years. I think the up at Crane Naval Base at the Wildlife Center was Eric Leakin, and then the Visitor Center up there. If you've ever had a means to go, a reason to go up there at the Visitor Center, it's called the Alec Twisky Visitor Center. So we're honored to be part of that. Whenever we dedicated that building, we also do something called a Crumbo Scholarship. That's a Marine Corps League scholarship. So anybody that's a part of the Marine Corps League, whether they're a Marine or not, if they're an associate member, if they're going to college or their kid is going to college, it's not a huge scholarship, but it's to help people go to school.
That's excellent.
Yeah, so we've been, that's what some of that stuff goes to. Marine Family Support Group. We've got an affiliated group along with the Marine Corps League that does that, and their big thing is whenever there are deployments, so Afghanistan, Iraq, wherever, if their child or their service member is deployed somewhere, we help put together care packages and phone cards and things like that. So if you've ever been deployed and you want that box of cookies or something home from mom and dad, and a phone home, that phone card is huge morale booster. So those are some of the things we do. So
and you can help out by being part of this golf tournament.
Yes.
Now, it is a golf scramble, so no matter how poorly you golf, you can be on a team.
If you can plant potatoes afterwards like myself, that's good. That's one level, and then we've got everybody else. So we encourage you to get together a team. Get your 4 people, and if you get more than one team, that's fine. Okay. We'll stack it up. We'll do what we got to do. And again, that is October 12th at the used to be called Muni Course. It's now Buffalo Trace. Shotgun start at 1 o'clock. Lunch is served at 12 o'clock. Pretty much a long day event there, but it's kind of a neat thing. I've been involved in it a few times, whenever I could.
The SILD Marines, the easiest way to get involved in any of that, or to register for this golf tournament, or to help with Toys for Tots, or blah blah blah.
Very good.
Is to go to the website.
There you go. Go to our website. You can either go to Facebook, or you can go to the website, and that's www.sildmarines, and SILD stands for Southern Indiana Leatherneck Detachment, if that helps you remember it. So it's SILDmarines with an S.com. You go to that, and you go to the, I think it's called meeting events. It's called events. So it's on the board. You just click on events, and it'll have these various events. And from there, for the golf scramble, you can download and print out your application form, whether you want to be a sponsor or you just want to have a team. Either one of those, you can put that in there and send it to the address that's on there. And it's actually P.O. Box 184, Jasper, Indiana.
Will you fill up with teams? Is this tournament usually fill up, or do you have a
Well,
lot of
in years past, gosh, I wish Pat O'Keefe was here.
maybe not, but
Depends on how much time we got.
yeah.
So far, we have not. What we'll do is double up, and
Okay.
so we've had as many as, I think, 18 to 20 teams in the past, and we've managed to get through it.
Okay.
So if we get to the point where the cutoff point, we'll just have to cross that bridge when we come to
Let's
it.
hope you get to that, but
I'd
that just
be
means
great if
more
we
money.
did.
The more money you get, the better off. But you also need sponsors, and people should contact you that way
we
as
need
well.
sponsors. So any of you people, any of your listeners out here, viewers that are watching us, If you have anything to do with your HR departments or anything like that, please, we'd appreciate you approaching them. Or if you wouldn't mind downloading the application forms and everything we just talked about here and give it to your HR department or the powers that be, we would certainly appreciate the support.
Now, one of the things that you also do is also coming up in October, and that is the honor flight.
Yeah.
And so a little money from this golf tournament can go to that as well.
It does.
But let's talk a little bit. We've got a few minutes. If you talk
Okay.
a little bit about the honor flight.
Honor Flight is it's an organization. It's now a nationwide organization. The one we're affiliated with is Honor Flight Southern Indiana, and that goes out of Evansville, Indiana. For those of you who don't know what we call it EVV 11, which is just coming up. EVV is a aviation term. If a lot of people fly nowadays, so they'll know what the acronym is for EVV. That stands for Evansville. So the 11 stands for the 11th time that we've had an honor flight. So this is number 11 coming up October.
So it's 5th.
October 5th. Thank you so much. October 5th, we got one coming up again, and that's for predominantly World War II veterans, but we're losing them very quickly. So it gets into some Korean War veterans as well as Vietnam veterans now. And you can sign up for that. Again, you can go to our website and follow that link, or they have their own link, their own website, and that's called honorflightsi.org. So it's not a .com, it's a .org. And from there, you can find out all information about it, when the next one's coming up, how much it is. We're always looking for escorts for that. So in a nutshell, what happens there is the veteran takes a day. There's a completely paid for day where that veteran goes to Washington, D.C., and they tour their monument, whether it be the World War II, the Korean War, or the Vietnam Memorial. They do all that, get on bus, and they come back, and then there's a welcoming ceremony back in Evansville later that night. It's a long day. They actually start the night before. It's like a Friday night before. Everybody has to be there. They start out 06 in the morning, and when the flight takes off pretty early. So they fly to Washington, D.C. They get there, as buses take them around. Escorts, every veteran has an escort. Every veteran has their medication on board. Every veteran has their wheelchairs that they're allowed to use. There's doctors on board, there's EMTs on board, even when you get there and you come back. So it's a very well organized event, very much a military exercise. And then, of course, when they come back, they get the welcome home ceremony back here. And it's, if you've ever had a chance to see it, I know you'll agree it kind of puts a lump in your throat. And if you want to check it out a little bit more, you can go to their website. Again, that's honorflightsi.org. And there's I think it's called a photo or something or whatever like that. But anyway, you can watch the videos and stuff, or some of those where they come back. It is truly a life-changing event, not only for the veterans, but for the people involved.
Yeah, the
I mean,
escorts.
man, if anything, if this doesn't put a lump in your throat, nothing will. You got cold Kool-Aid in your veins instead of blood, you know. But it's a cool event. So we're real proud to be a part of that. And that's, again, so some of what we do for our fundraising is to help support that.
Okay, and to quickly get people to know, you also have a birthday ball.
We do. We're making it a pretty big deal this year. This is our 244th birthday. So we as Marines, we want to invite the public. It is an RSVP, by the way. We want to invite the public to come and join and celebrate our birthday with us. There'll be a speaker, a special speaker that day. We have our regular birthday ceremony. In recent years past, we've had a lot of military active as well as veterans of other branches of service, and we'd really encourage that: Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, Marines, and come in and celebrate our birthday with us. It is a formal event, so if you can get in your uniform, I'm not one of those, but if you can get in your uniform, please do. If not, a shirt and tie. Some of the ladies like to dress up formally. It's great. It's a beautiful place to come out. There's a nice meal with it. There's dinner and dancing after all the events. So we invite you to go, again, visit our website, and you can learn more about that. And we'll probably talk about that a little bit later this year as well.
Put it on your calendar, Saturday, November 9th.
Yes, sir.
The big thing now, though, you've got the golf tournament coming up. And with that golf tournament, there is an application that's online.
Yep.
October 12th is the golf tournament. The Marine Corps League Golf Scramble, only $45 a person. That's pretty cheap.
I'm not a golfer, but I understand that's very.
I think that is reasonable.
Economical.
Yeah, the only way I can golf is on a Scramble team.
Me too.
Yeah, maybe we should be on the same team.
Yeah,
and just find two.
We get lucky and hit one straight from time to time, and have the potato peelers back here, the potato planters have to put them out of work,
Well, Steve Lindauer, thank you very much for being our guest. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for your service to the country and all that the SILD Marines do for our area.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Golf Scramble's coming up. Check out their website to find out more. This has been WJTS in.form. We've been talking with Steve Lindauer. Are you still the PIO?
PAO.
PAO. Okay, the Public Affairs
Officer.
All right, with the SILD.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Lots of acronyms. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on WJTS in.form. We're local people watching local people.